Welcome to the Beaver quarantine zone. I mean the Beaver Dam. I am feeling a little sick here today, but we're gonna power through it and give you guys a fantastic video to try and help you guys finish your roster and fix some farms. So this video is all about the 5 teams that I keep seeing people sleep on that they have in their rosters currently. This is teams that people are sleeping on that they could be farming. I see these farms in people's rosters, like they're there and they just don't get finished, and I don't get it. And so it's kind of a follow-up of, a little while ago we did a video about the individual characters I see non-relict in a team, like in an account, and so these are the ones I keep seeing, and it's the first thing I check when I look at your roster. And so if you want an idea of where I'm going to check your factions immediately when I get to your roster, this is the video to watch, because these are the things I immediately check and the things that I know that most people need to finish their farms. And obviously, as you can see over here, it is all Jar Jar Binks. That is who you're missing. No, I'm kidding. These are just placeholders just because I thought it was going to be funny to throw Jar Jar Binks everywhere. Okay, so our first team, we're going to jump right in. So these are teams, once again, we have them in a roster, but we're not utilizing them, and that's the problem. So obviously having something like a GL in your roster is going to be great and all. Yes, I get it. You can go farm a GL, they're going to be great, but these are things in your roster you are sleeping on. First things first is Star Killer. We've talked about seeing non-relic Star Killers quite a bit. And the thing is, you don't necessarily need the full team. The Relic Star Killer is really what makes this team pop. Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Star Killer is the overall thing. But getting in a couple people and planning out who you're going to use in these 2 slots does help quite a bit. Getting a Cal Kestis or a Visas Mar for that light side online force user is super helpful. I love Cal Kestis in this slot, although I personally use Cal Kestis on my Rey team currently because of the Datacron sets we're having right now. I've pushed him back to the Emperor Palpatine team, but this guy is just so much synergy for those unaligned force users. You can't ignore it. It really helps you stay alive during those Rey counters, all kinds of stuff. And then Old Ben, really what you want in this last slot, it's a Jedi. It has to be a Jedi. You want a Jedi tank. There's a lot in Star Killer's kit that really helps out Jedi's tanks. It gives Jedi tanks damage immunity every time he uses a special ability, which is amazing. Having a taunting tank that has damage immunity is amazing. On top of that, with the Jedi tank, they also are forced to taunt by Star Killer, so you get a pre-taunting tank too. So very nice, not something to sleep on. So get yourself a good light side unaligned force user. Either Visas Mar or Cal Kestis are the 2 that I suggest, and then any kind of Jedi tank in this last slot. This was just one I know a lot of people have because of the light speed bundles, but it can be anything. A lot of people go with the Plo Koon. Plo Koon's not the best Jedi tank, but he's a Jedi tank nonetheless, and so he fits the bill. So up to you. Going into our next team, yes, we are going to have some overlap from our previous video with the Dark Trooper that needed to be Relic. Way too many times have I seen a Relic 8 Piet from an Executor farm, and then not a single other Imperial Trooper in the overall thing. And they even have the Zetas on Piet. I'm like, yeah, I guess you could throw it with Darth Vader. I guess you could throw it with Emperor Palpatine, but Emperor Palpatine's going to go with Star Killer, and typically that's what I see. So I don't know why you have the Piet Zetas if you're not going to build this team. Because this team's insane. And so this is another one I see in people's accounts where they're like, oh yeah, I have a gear 12, or not a gear 12, I have a 7-star Veers, I have a 7-star Dark Trooper, but they're gear 8 and they don't have Veers doesn't have a Zeta. And I'm like, dude, you could have an amazing team. This is Darth Revan. All Darth Revan's destroyed. This is cleaning up any GLs that you leave behind from this team. This is taking out, team after team after team. So do not sleep on this team. All it takes is a Gear 12 Veers with a Zeta and then a Relic 5 Dark Trooper. And then the rest of the team could be whatever you want, honestly, and you will absolutely destroy people. It's just extra bodies to keep the turn meter train going. But you need that damage and you need that Zeta in the team, and you have an amazing team. You want to keep Veers alive as long as possible, which is why I suggest the Gear 12. Plus, he's not a Chirotech character, and so that means that he just takes raid 1, and it's super easy to get him to Gear 12, so it's not going to be a problem for you whatsoever. Dark Trooper I know is a little bit harder of an ask, but you can't tell me it's not funny to watch this guy just punch people to oblivion. It's so cool. I love this team. Going into our next team, this is where we start to get into the more complex ones and the ones that I see the most often. These are the ones that I see like constantly, and these are the first 3 factions. You'll see me as I go through rosters. These are the first 3 factions I always check, and I don't know why they're slept on. Okay, number 3, bounty hunters. You have 3 of the best bounty hunters in your account. Just sitting here because you got the Lightspeed bundles, right? If you didn't get the Lightspeed bundles, you probably still have these guys at least lying around. Even at gear 8, gear 10, this Mandalorian can do insane stuff. Grief Karga, same thing. You should be getting these 2 guys up as soon as you can to gear 12 and relic level. Throw in an Aura Sing lead. You don't even need a Zeta at all. Throw in a Zam with an Omicron if you can afford it, and this team is absolutely banger. If you can't afford the Zam Omicron, I get it. Get the Aura Sing lead. Throw whatever extra bounty hunter you can into this slot. I'm sure you have a Relic Boba. I'm sure you have a Relic Cad Bane. There's tons of people that can go into this slot. But overall, what I see people sleeping on is the speeds. You want Bosk fast. Like, very, very fast. You want Grief Karga to be fast. Very, very fast. These guys don't have additional speed is the problem. That are kind of similar to Darth Revan, where the team doesn't really have extra speed. And so that's why Imperial Troopers can beat Darth Revan fairly easily, is because they don't have any additional speed. And so they don't really take turns. And this team is the same. That's why the Zam Wessel Omicron's super nice, because it pumps their speed quite a bit. But overall, the idea of this team is you want Bosk to take first turn. He taunts, which gives everyone a buff. And Aura Sing reads that whenever an ally that is buffed uses an ability, you get 1 thing towards contract, and you only need 10 to hit the contract. So basically, Bosk taunts, and you're like, perfect, now everyone has a buff. Grief Karga takes the next turn, so you want him at like over 300 speed. So let's say 305 is where you have him. You want your Grief Karga to be at 304 speed, because then Grief Karga takes the next turn, and he hits his mass assist. The whole team assists, and then now you're halfway to contract. Bosk, when he taunts, he gains Frenzy, which means that he's going to get a bonus turn right after Grief Karga uses his mass assist. Bosk uses his mass assist, and now it's the Mandalorian's turn, and he has his insta-kill because the contract has already been hit. So I want you to keep in mind, try to get over 300 speed over Bosk, try to get right under that with Grief Karga, and then with Mando, you want 85% of the speed of the other character, so Grief Karga. So I've got him at like 265, and my Grief Karga is much higher. So you want to take a look at Grief Karga's speed and make sure your Mandalorian is 85% slower than that, because Mandalorian does gain turn meter off of critical hits, and so he'll take a turn too early if you're not careful. But this is insane. You can also do this with the Bosk lead. It just means if they have a pre-taunting tank or something like that, it'll become a little bit more problematic to hit that contract fast. But overall, fast Bosk, barely slower Grief, 85% slower Mandalorian. So, amazing. Please don't sleep on this. Like this can, like, you could be going up against an opponent and be like, oh shiz, that guy has this team, I have no idea how to beat that. And then you could throw these guys in there, they take first turn, they do their thing, and they insta kill whoever's the most problematic person on the team, whether it be the leader, the tank, whatever it is, they delete that person, and then you can bring in a cleanup and finish it off. This is an instant, like, I don't know how to face that, and I don't want to deal with it kind of team. So please don't sleep on this. Get those speeds dialed in. The next one is another one I see constantly, and another one that I'm going to see a lot more recently, and I'm like continuing to see, but obviously it's one that I do want to caution you a bit about, and that is gas. Now, I'm not saying right now go finish your gas, because I know a lot of you just bought the gas Lightspeed bundle, you just got gas, and you can see right here I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's a 9th Zeta on Echo. There are 9 Zetas in this team, and that is so painful for most of us. But like what I'm seeing a lot of the times though is I'll see like a relic gas with some gear 11, gear 12 clones. So I'm not talking to those of you who Lightspeed bundles. I'm not saying, hey, those of you with Lightspeed bundles, push this hard, because like I get it, you're low in Zetas and you have farms that you still need to finish. I'd rather you finish those farms before you transition to gas. But when you do go all in on gas, please relic all of your clone troopers, especially because this is a scary counter when it comes to Malgus, but this is one of the few counters that's non-GL to Malgus, and you're going to see Malgus on defense up until you get to like Kyber 2, High Kyber 2 and Kyber 1. Like I still see Malgus is on defense. And this team may be a little scary to take against Malgus, but it still works, especially if you get them fully relicked, because then you can throw on a Datacron. Like the 15% health and protection Datacrons are so incredibly good for this team. They're doing great things. And 99% of the time, there will be something that'll give you extra protection or extra damage into this team from the Datacrons to be able to push you over the edge from being like a, 70% win rate to basically a 95% win rate against most Malguses. So please don't sleep on this team. A high relic gas can take out SLKR. A high relic gas can it has a chance of doing Ray, but if it's a no ultimate Ray, this is my go-to counter. Like with the no ultimate Ray, I always throw my FIFO first against it and just laugh as it doesn't work against me. Like I will always take a instant win to that. It's also a great cleanup team for certain GLs. It's just a solid team all around, and I hate that I see this slept on so much, where they have like a relic gas and then like one relic trooper, or they'll have like 2 of the troopers relic and not gas, and he has like all 4 of his Zetas. So please do not sleep on this. I don't know why this is slept on so much, because it takes so much to get this character, and then you just like got the character and you're like, well, I guess the farm's done. I'm just gonna say goodbye now. And so this one actually pains my soul a lot, because especially this is one of my favorite teams in the game. This was my first PP in the game. This was my first passion project, so it hurts my soul to see this one as it is. Okay, that's not technically true. I had one PP before this, and it actually is our number 1 team in this list of 5. This was my second PP technically. I apologize. I did lie to you there for a second, because my first PP was before I even started like farming efficiently, and my first PP was Darth Revan. Guys, I don't know why every account I go to is like, I have Darth Revan at gear 8, but I've never leveled him up. Or I have a relic Darth Revan, but I have a gear 8 Malak with 2 Zetas. Or I have a relic Revan, I have a relic Malak. I'm like, I'm proud of you, buddy. How's the rest of your Sith Empire? Oh, it's gear 2. Like, there's no Sith Marauder, there's no Sith Empire Trooper. And the thing about this team is Bastila Shan obviously is amazing regardless of where you're at, because she can be used with any type of Sith to do some good work. But on top of that, she works with the Sith Empire really well and continues on into the team with Malgus. Sith Marauder, same kind of thing. He's not only a requirement for a GL, a requirement for a ship, he's also great with any Sith team. So he's fantastic. Darth Malak, excellent solo, excellent on a team, greatest plug and play Sith in the game. Okay, not greatest. If you count just Grand Arena, technically Savage is the greatest. But outside of Grand Arena, Darth Malak is the greatest plug and play Sith tank in the game. Sith Empire Trooper is a close second, dude. Close second. Sith Empire Trooper is a pre-taunting tank on any Sith team that you have, which is so incredibly helpful. Maybe you don't have room for him on the Sith Empire team later on because you got yourself a Malgus. All of a sudden, you have a set that you can throw with Sith Eternal, or you can throw him with Traya. Like, he fits in so many Sith teams. A pre-taunting tank is always one of the best things in the game that you could possibly have. And then, of course, Darth Revan. Requirement for this. Amazing character, so much fun to play with. This team just it shouldn't be slept on, guys. It really shouldn't. And too often I see a relic Darth Revan and then like just gear nothing. Excuse me. But yeah, like it's crazy how often I see this slept on. So these 5 teams hurt my soul just a bit every time I open someone's roster, because I see them not finished. And so if any of these are not finished, I'd encourage you, finish your current project, whatever it might be. Maybe you're finishing one of your Lightspeed bundles, maybe you're finishing a Executor, maybe you're finishing Leviathan, I don't know. Wherever you are in the game, finish whatever farm you're doing, but take a break and finish one of these teams, because I see them slept on so much, and they do so much for your account. So much. And on top of that, like, every single one has recs for different things. Piet is an Executor rec. Veers is a Sith Eternal rec. You know, Emperor Palpatine is a rec for multiple things. Mara Jade's a rec for Star Killer. Cal Kestis is a rec for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. Obi-Wan's for JML. You know, you have Aura Singh for Jabba. You have Zam Wessel for Lord Vader. Like, all of these are requirements for all kinds of things, and they're just absolutely banger teams that are sitting in your roster being left to the dust and could have so much potential in your roster. So please do take a look at these teams specifically. I hope this helps you guys with just figuring out what you should do in between your major farms. I hope that this has opened your eyes a bit. If you know of any other teams that you commonly see that are like just not leveled up but sit in people's rosters, please throw it in the comment section. I would love to make it, you know, visible for everyone so people know what they need to finish. But excellent teams, do not sleep on these. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe. We are shooting for 2,500 subscribers at the moment, and hopefully we'll hit that soon. We're growing pretty good, and we've just started streaming to Twitch, which has also been really fun. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.